Today we're testing celebrity recipes from Katseye to Olivia Rodrigo to BTS. These celebrities are having a huge moment right now, and they all have one thing in common. They made cooking videos. So I'm gonna be testing if they actually have good taste or if they just make bad food look hot. First up, we have Olivia Rodrigo. She shared her grandma's lumpia recipe on Vogue, and I love that she's sharing part of her Filipino heritage. But first things first, she starts by grating her carrots. She stuck it into the food processor, but I actually lost my shredding piece, so we're gonna have to do that manually. In this video with Vogue, she finally talked about her upcoming third album, and the songs are apparently about a lot of joy that she experienced. But don't worry, because she said there's a lot of sad love songs too, which pretty much is her bread and butter. Now we're gonna transfer this to a bowl, but in her bowl, she had some ground chicken. She mentions that the lumpias can be made with beef or pork, but her favorite is chicken. Now the carrots go in. I feel like this is a lot of carrot to chicken ratio. I feel like Olivia is someone that has really good taste. Now she chops half an onion, not by hand, but into the food processor because she mentioned she's not that good of a cook. It looks like she pulses them pretty finely. I think this looks good. Add this into the bowl. Now she chops up 2 garlic cloves. Now we add the garlic to the bowl, cilantro. Somebody asked her what she likes to watch on TikTok, and she mentioned that she actually loves watching Disney cruise content. Who would have thought Olivia Rodrigo is a Disney adult? More like a Disney princess. All right, cilantro also goes into the bowl, and now we season. We're gonna add an egg, some sesame oil. I love the addition of sesame oil in here because that's how my mom makes egg rolls too. For the salt, she doesn't give us any measurements, but I'm eyeballing it and guessing that it's about 1 teaspoon. Hopefully we don't over season this. And black pepper. It looks about good. Now let's mix it up. It's already smelling so good. I grew up eating Vietnamese egg rolls, and there's about 10 ingredients in there, from shredded carrots, onions, mushrooms, noodles. So I really appreciate the simplicity of the lumpias here, and it seems really easy to make. I wonder what the lumpia queen would think. For the lumpia wrappers, she uses the circular kind. But before she wraps everything, we're gonna separate the egg yolk from the egg white, and we're gonna save this egg white for a different recipe later. Whisk the egg yolk up, and this is our egg wash sealer. She starts off with her round lumpia wrapper, but she cuts the top. I don't know what she actually does with this piece. Does she layer it here? That's what my mom does, just to keep things from breaking. So I'm gonna do that. Now she scoops her filling onto the lumpia wrapper and rolls them up. And there's our first lumpia. I gotta say, she must have had a lot of practice because hers looks so much better than mine. So let me get some more reps in. Lacy, oh lacy, skin like puff pastry. Aren't you the sweetest thing this side of heaven? Second one's a little better. And now let's fry the lumpias. She uses a whole fryer machine, but I'm just gonna use this pot. Once the oil's nice and hot, just drop the lumpias in, and she says you know they're ready when they kind of float to the top and turn golden brown. Drop it in away from you. I don't think mine can float to the top. It really has nowhere to go since it's a little cramped, so I'm gonna try to just make sure it's nice and golden brown and cooked inside. This looks about ready to flip. They look so perfect. But it also looks like I made jumbo lumpias. And here's Olivia Rodrigo's finished lumpias. They actually look pretty darn good. She serves it on a platter like this with a dipping sauce. I don't know if it's sweet and sour sauce. Let's dip and try. It's still steaming hot. I love how simple it is. I made mine nice and meaty. But you taste the cilantro, the sweetness of the carrots, and the chicken. We seasoned it just right. So I'm actually pretty impressed, but I'm also not surprised because Olivia is perfect. 9 out of 10 on the lumpia. But keep watching because while this one was good, I'm not so sure about the rest. So technically that wasn't Zara Larsson, but in this video, she shares her favorite Swedish foods and jokes that Swedes basically eat the same menu for every holiday, especially for midsummer. Somebody said Zara's like if summer itself had a baby with the Winx fairy. I gotta say, I am loving her whole new rainbow look. She looks amazing, but is the spread amazing? We'll find out. She starts by talking about pickled herring, which I'm just finding out that it's pickled fish. It's been pickled in some wine sauce. So let's get some out. It smells good. It smells very savory. Add a couple. And she says she would typically eat this with some sour cream and chives and then proceeds to dip it with a potato. She said this combo is like being at home. But then she moves on to what she says is one of her favorites, a shrimp skagen toast, which she actually gives us the recipe for. And all it consists of is some shrimp. I'm using the smallest baby shrimp here, mayo, dill, and onions on toast. I feel like this is not the complete recipe and we might need a little bit of lemon juice and salt and pepper just to season it a little bit. But my Swedish friends, did I just commit a crime or is this okay? Because she mentions that you guys don't use a lot of seasoning and you just let the ingredients kind of be the stars. So tell me if I messed this up. But now let's mix. I love all the different colors in here. And here we have our toast, which I'm just gonna add the shrimp right on top. And the example that they gave us in the video also had some salmon caviar. Fancy. Place it right on top. And I noticed her plate also had some pickled red onions. And that is a typical Swedish plate. Let's try the pickled herring with the sour cream and potatoes.
We love a good pickled something. Pickled fish, it doesn't sound very nice.
But does it taste nice? I can confidently say I've never had pickled herring before, so this is gonna be interesting. Cheers. It has a firm yet slimy texture, but that doesn't bother me because I love sushi. What I like most about it is that it has like this pickled briny flavor to it that makes it so interesting. And then paired with the potato and the sour cream, it's actually quite nice. But let's try her favorite, the shrimp toast. I think I'll put some pickled red onions right on top too. I don't know if I messed it up by adding salt and lemon juice, but it really has a nice balanced flavor. If you like lobster salad, this is very, very similar to it with the addition of the dill. And because I added the salmon roe, it has a nice salty kick to it too. My only exposure to Swedish food has been fish, candy, or IKEA meatballs. I've never had these before, but I can say this is delicious and I can see why you guys eat the same menu every holiday because it's good. Zara's Swedish plate gets 9 out of 10. Somebody said she is that girl. Next up, we have the entire cast of EXO kitties sharing their ramen hacks. So of course, we're gonna have to go with the main character, Kitty, first. And we're gonna be making her squiggly noodles. And she calls it squiggly noodles because that's what she ate as a toddler. And she talked about the ramen that they use, which is called Nissan. I did the research. It's top ramen, chicken flavor, but in the video, they use this one. So we're gonna go with it. So for her ramen, she needs ramen, spinach, and sesame seeds. Let's cook the ramen. Pour in some water and let it come to a boil. But speaking of, EXO Kitty this season had so many twists and turns I could barely keep up. Actually, I could, but there was just a crazy amount of drama, which is wild for high school kids. I'm just happy that LJ made an appearance. Our water's boiling, let's drop in the noodles. She actually doesn't even use the whole thing, she breaks it. Ugh, who knew a brick of ramen was so hard? I'll just save this for a snack later. She lets the noodles cook first and then she adds in the seasoning packets. But the question is, which way is right? Do you add the seasoning packet first into the ramen to soak through or after? Comment below. And once the ramen's almost cooked, she adds in a whole bowl of spinach where she says watch all the spinach shrink down to nothing. And yeah, it's gone. She mentions that there's only 2 ingredients needed for this, but she decided to be fancy. So we're gonna sprinkle on some sesame seeds. And that's Anna Cathcart, aka Kitty's ramen. I don't know if this is so much as a hack as it's just like adding spinach and vegetables to it, but it's definitely worth a try. The spice hits you at the back of the throat. I don't know if the original noodles that she used was a little bit spicy or not, but this one has a kick to it, and I appreciate that the spinach actually helps to like cool it down a little bit. 7 out of 10. So Kitty's was good, but I feel like Mino's might look a little bit better. And he calls his sangyam ramyeon, which he describes as like a play on purechige, which is army stew, and you need 2 very important ingredients, spam and minced pork. What is minced pork? I found out it's deviled ham spread. Delightful! To make Mino's ramen, he starts by adding some oil into the pot, and then he cooks up his garlic. Building flavor, I like it. Except now he adds red chili pepper to make it spicy, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna leave it out. Now he adds his minced pork. Oh, okay, so there's like a layer of fat on top, but underneath, it looks kind of like pate, and I don't mind that. He's basically just stir frying it up, and as you cook the minced pork, it kind of disintegrates into like mush, which I feel like would work well well with the ramen broth. I don't know. We'll let it come to a boil. And now he uses the Korean version of samyang noodles, but his technique is different from Katseye's. He adds the seasoning packets into the water first, and then the ramen. Oh, this looks so spicy. That red scares me. Does he add the vegetables? Sure, why not? I have to say, adding in the soup base before you add in the noodles makes the broth come together a lot faster and easier. Now let's drop in our ramen. So while the noodles cook, did you guys know that Mino and Yuri are siblings in real life? But can somebody explain to me why Mino has a British accent while Yuri doesn't? So Mino has this interesting technique where he will pull the noodles up and fan it. And people ask, why are you doing that? Shh. It's to keep the noodles al dente. But notice how the package says non-soggy noodles. So I feel like it would be al dente regardless. And it looks like once the noodles absorbed a little bit more liquid, he adds in his green onions and Spam. And this is the actor Sang Hyung Lee, aka Mino's budae-jjigae ramen. I do like budae-jjigae. It kind of hits you on the tongue a little bit. It's nice and savory with all the different components. And this has some of it, but am I gonna die from all this spice? Surprisingly, this one isn't as bad as the spicy chicken. This one just kind of hits you right on the tongue and then it mellows out. It's not bad. I can handle that. Mino's samyang ramen gets 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Katseye. With a new song out, is Manon in? Is she out? We don't know. But one thing I do know is that I did some digging and I found this. Welcome to Cookielicious Kitchen.
Katseye edition.
So delicious.
It's Cookielicious.
Guys, that was my cooking channel when I was like 7.
Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome to Cookielicious Kitchen.
It's baby Laura making macarons, which she says is her twist on the French treat, and who doesn't love milk with cookies? So let's make some French macarons. So she starts by sifting her almond flour into a bigger bowl, and God bless her because she uses a tiny sieve in her hand to push it through because you want your cookies smooth, not grainy. This is probably not the most efficient way to do it. She did suggest using a spoon to push it through, and maybe a bigger sieve. This way I can dump the whole thing in. The sieve's a little bit bigger so I can push it through a lot faster using the spoon too. Another trick I found to get it to push through easier is just to kind of tap the sides of the sieve and then it just like rains almond flour. She says any chunks that's left, we'll just discard it. And now she starts sifting some powdered sugar. Okay, now we're gonna give everything a good mix so it kind of comes together and I'll set it aside. And now we're gonna whisk our egg whites. I'm actually super impressed with how thorough she is with all of her directions, super easy to understand. And somebody said, I can't believe Laura could have been a rising global culinary sensation. Could be both. She could be a global superstar and a culinary sensation. Why not do it all? But now we are gonna be using the egg whites from Olivia Rodrigo's recipe, along with 2 other egg whites. And then before she whisks it up, she adds cream of tartar and salt. And now let's whisk it up until it's nice and foamy. We want stiff peaks. Okay, so once it gets to almost where we need it to be, she drops in some food coloring to make it pink. And she did say that it tends to fade after you bake them, so make it really vibrant. So I guess I'll just put in another drop. And I think that looks good. It's like cotton candy. Okay, the egg whites are done. And now she says we're gonna add the dry ingredients into the egg whites, a little bit at a time, mixing it until it becomes nice and smooth. The egg whites are so foamy. They remind me of little peeps. Okay, I don't wanna overmix them, so let's add round 2. I'm gonna be honest, I have PTSD from making these cookies for this video like 100 years ago. They're hard. Okay, it's coming together, but looking a little chunky, so I'm gonna keep mixing. I'm not gonna lie, the consistency of hers looks a little runny. Mine looks a little thick still, so I need to maybe mix it a couple more times. I'm gonna stop right here. So with a round tip and a piping bag, I'm gonna add the mixture into it. Might have gotten some unprocessed bits in there. That's okay because now we're just gonna package it up, tie it, and then pop it in the fridge. I don't have a rubber band, so I'm just gonna use this clamp to hold it together. That works. So while our batter's in the fridge, we're gonna prep the filling, which she starts by cutting up some strawberries and blending it. We're gonna make like a, I don't know what to call it. It's like a strawberry buttercream filling. That looks so good. Next up, she whips her butter. Now the honey, she says 4 tablespoons. This is gonna be sweet. Whisk it up again. It's honey butter. And now she adds the strawberry puree in and we're just gonna mix it up. Honestly, I was hoping I could save this, but I was super worried that it would turn soupy like this because hers looked super runny too. And the butter didn't quite mix very well with the strawberry. But she does pop it in the fridge to hopefully firm up, so let's do that. It's been 20 minutes. Let's pipe out our macarons. Okay, we're just gonna try to do as perfect circles as we can. Give it a couple of taps to flatten them out. And typically macarons, you have to let them sit and kind of develop a shell. I can't recall if she did or not. She puts them in right away. Let's do this. She bakes them at 300 degrees for 20 minutes. I mean, they don't look perfectly nice like a macaron, but there's little feet. I'm gonna let them cool completely before we fill them. Our cookies are now nice and cool. Our strawberry honey butter is still soupy. They look very similar to hers, but now she takes a cookie, fills them up like a sandwich. So the shells are a little cracked, but the bottom looks okay. Let's get a scoop of the filling. We'll just put a dollop in the center of the cookie, close it up. Honestly, once it comes together, it doesn't look that bad. But before we try it, she does pour herself a glass of milk. Pinkies up. Honestly, it's not bad. Look at the inside. If you didn't pay attention to the outside, it's not as pretty as your French bakery macarons, but the inside and the taste really works and it's good. I would just change a few things about her technique, like letting the cookie sit for a little bit to form a shell. That helps prevent the cookie from cracking like this. I'd probably use a lot less of the blended strawberries and the honey butter, but overall, this is amazing for a 7-year-old. And honestly, I'm super impressed. So I'm gonna give baby Laura an 8 out of 10. We're doing BTS! And you know what I found out about them? BTS has a lot of cooking videos. They even have a cookbook coming out in September, which I might just do a follow-up to this. But in another recent Vogue video, it was basically an Eat Jin episode featuring V and Jimin. Somebody said Jin fighting for his life against Vimin's kitchen chaos. And it was chaotic.
승조님, 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
They made a drink called Misugaru and it turned into a debate on which style was better, so I have to find out too. So if you're wondering what Misugaru is, I went to H-Mart and found this. It's basically a roasted grain latte with 12 to 15 different grains. Mine already came pre-measured, so we're gonna start off with Jimin's Busan style Misugaru. He starts off by adding the powder directly into the cup. For the water, I think he just eyeballs it about halfway up. That looks good. And for Jimin's version, he adds sugar, which he quickly realizes sugar has no smell. And then Jin says you have to add a lot of sugar and you have to add a lot more than you think. I'm gonna do like half of this. That's a lot of sugar. Let me go ahead and mix it up. One of them said that the Misugaru should be chewable, so I don't know, it does kind of look chunky. Let's add some ice. And now we'll make V's Daegu style. For his, he actually starts it with milk. Then he adds the Misugaru powder, which I feel turns out a little chunky, but let's give it a quick stir. Oh, it kind of just melts into it. And then for his version, instead of sugar, he uses honey. We'll give it a mix. The honey kind of clumps up at the bottom. That should be good. And then let's add ice. And now let's see if Jimin's Busan style is better or V's Daegu style. Konbe. That was really, really sweet. I like the roasty flavor of it, but I don't like how sweet it is. Let's try this one. Also very sweet, but unlike V's reaction to his, I actually like the milk version better. He preferred the sweeter Busan style. And you know what I think? This would be excellent with coffee. These are just both way too sweet, but I do like how the powder tastes. 7 out of 10. And now we're making Jungkook's truffle mushroom pasta that looks so good. He starts by chopping up his onions. He has really good knife skills. Mine looks a little dull, so let me go ahead and sharpen it real quick.
Watch this, be going hooligan. We pop out, yeah, we acting a fool again.
Well, now that my knife is nice and sharp, let's make this pasta. Onions look good. Now let's chop up our mushrooms. Can we just agree that the new album is so good though? I have to admit, I'm a new ARMY and I have a little bit to catch up on, but V did say that this is chapter 2, a new era, which they're trying to make a statement, and along the way, they got some new fans like me. And now for the pasta part, he uses this calamarata or paccheri type of calamari looking tube pasta. So I'm gonna cook it in the back. The pasta is cooking, so let's prepare the rest of the ingredients. In a pan, he adds a little bit of oil and then he starts to caramelize his onions. Once it's nice and soft, it looks like he adds salt, pepper, and then the mushrooms. And now he adds some kind of liquid. I'm guessing it's truffle oil. That's a lot. That smells so good. Now he adds some butter and then maybe cream. I'm using half and half. After he adds the milk, I see him tossing it with the pasta, so I'm gonna add mine. Oh my gosh, that looks incredible. My mouth is watering. I wish you guys can smell this, the truffle oil. But then he adds a little bit more. Truffle oil is expensive. Only an idol like Jungkook would be able to just like pour it in like that. And then he tongs it onto his plate. You gotta keep the shape of these calamari pastas. Finishing touches, grate some cheese, like a mountain of cheese, and some fresh black pepper. And here's Jungkook's truffle mushroom pasta. I lost my lip rings. But the pasta is delicious. It's creamy, it's salty. There's that mushroomy. Even if you don't like mushrooms, I feel like the truffle oil kind of just makes it so fancy. Can Jungkook cook? Yes, he most definitely can. 10 out of 10. Which celebrity are you the biggest fan of? Comment below. And if you like this video, go watch me make more celebrity recipes.